Hey, hey. Back again. Let me just fix this real quick. There we go. Alright. Oh, sorry for getting angry yesterday. I had a touch of the old melodram patheticism. No, it had excited my delirium in such a way that I was losing control. You see, I don't really get all that upset with the behavior of other people until I hear how negatively it's affecting people that I care about. That's what makes me really upset. That's what makes me mad. So, how you guys doing? I hope everybody's doing fine. Hope everybody's staying warm up north. I hope everybody is having a good time down south and not making life hell for the people around you and not selling out your fucking country for a little bit of puff. So, I have lots of thoughts. I just wanted to basically go through things randomly and not really took a lot of notes, but I've had thoughts just bouncing in my head all day. It's very important for me to stay focused, and at the moment I'm full of Chick-fil-A and very tired, so I'm gonna pull up a few things and see if I can get myself on track. Alright, so I've been over this before. I'll go over it again. That'll be a really good thing to warm up. The changing of hands that took place in the 90s from the Freemasons to the Zionists is a very important historically contingent event that is responsible for a tremendous amount of the things that you see today. The Masons, they loved building stuff. Building stuff being the key is buildings. Even if they didn't actually serve the public good, they used lots of buildings, lots of architecture. In fact, taking the God out of the architecture and making it for man had almost made it into a more advanced architecture than the Christian architecture. Almost. But a lot of people have noticed that a lot of things haven't really been updated in a meaningful way since the late 80s, early 90s. And that's pretty obvious why. When Reagan's brain was leaking out of his ears, H.W. Bush was setting a whole bunch of evil shit up behind the scenes. But I personally believe that he thought that he could put the entire world on his shoulders and he could just discard people like Nixon and he can just make his son do whatever he wanted and that everything would work out perfectly fine. And I personally believe that he was either spotted or utilized by this proto-modern Zionist entity that really started to pop up in 1987, or excuse me, 1978. It really started to manifest in 1978 in Israel. And you call it the Movement for Greater Israel, or the Likud Party today. And they are the remnants of, excuse me, not the remnants, but the evolution of the American Zionist Council, which would turn into AIPAC. The American Zionist Council was almost classified as a foreign entity, which would have prevented them from working on our politics as they do today, by a man named Robert Kennedy and his brother, John Kennedy. Both of those people were murdered and the plans were scrapped. Now, it'd be super cool if RFK Jr. could consider that. However, his friendships with absolutely sycophantic, shameless, evil Zionists like Rabbi Shmuley will probably trip him up a lot when it comes to avenging his father's murder. But what Ross Perot did was what anybody in his position probably would have, which is fight the good fight. And in fighting the good fight, he threw a wrench in the campaign and prevented H.W. Bush from absorbing those nicer people that voted for Ross Perot, like my grandfather, into his organization. And it lost him the election. Now, that combined with an economic downturn, meaning not only were people on the ground not wanting H.W. Bush to continue, there were people upstairs that did not want H.W. Bush to continue. And Bill Clinton came in as somebody that people assumed was going to be just an American. Little Rock, Arkansas, at one point in history, under Bill Clinton's governance, turned into the crack cocaine capital of the entire planet, except for maybe the Colombia, not Venezuela, Colombia, which is our processing step zone to turn cocaine from Bolivia into crack from Colombia, distributed out into the inner cities. That is directly caused by the CIA. And people always said, well, when I was growing up, well, Hillary and Bill killed a state trooper. Why? What did he know? And that got me thinking and got me, searching for the answer to that question. The dilapidation you see in our country is a dilapidation meant to wipe out the colonized American culture and recolonize it as a new Phoenician settlement, Neo-Phoenician settlement. That is what happened to Miami. That's what happened to New York. Everybody knows that. That's what happened in Los Angeles, although the Sinosphere has a lot more to do with the West Coast than Israel has to do with Europe and the East Coast. Like, what happened to Germany is very sick, and it might be impossible to ever, unify the fullness of the German culture back to where, revive it back to where it was, because it has been so utterly destroyed. The fact that, it's so destroyed that the remnants in its peripheries out in Africa and in America are like more German than this disgusting thing you see in Berlin, is a testament to what happens when that native culture is sold by the Masons to, or stolen by the Zionists. And I personally believe, and I believe this for a while, that a Zionist is somebody who first and foremost puts Jewish blood and bodies in front of him or her as a shield. First and foremost, before anything else, they take Jewishness and use it as a human shield, all the while hiding back behind other cultures who sold out in like this neo-encomienda system. That's what a Zionist is. It's somebody that hides behind Jews, directs and scapegoats the consequences of their actions, outsources it to their brothers and sisters, and escapes with the money without needing to jubilee their kin as their culture directs them to. So there would literally be no purpose of the Jewish culture being so productive if it wasn't for the fact that it was for survival. It was pushed to an extreme for that reason, for survival. Now it's been like broken branch, and it's one little tiny bit gets all the fuel, and that's not the point of it. In that case, it is just wasting a vast majority of its potential resources. It's not a good metaphor. As I said, I'm pretty groggy, and I'm going off of no notes, and I'm just winging it. But let's move on to today. Now, Trump has been scaring a lot of people, but that's mostly just media. The focus of Trump, his ability to stay on the point that he wants to stay on, instead of allowing the sycophants around him, unfortunately, like what's going on with Musk recently, to make him believe one thing one week and another thing the next week and another thing the third week. That is how you create the perfect tool of a person. And I hope that's not Elon, but he's been going pretty bonkers recently. Like, my bro, we are not liberating England from their shitty little Labour Party. Like, their Labour Party isn't even like what you're really scared of. It's Labour in name only, you know? It doesn't have Jeremy Corbyn. It's not going to genuinely socialize anything. And so the Labour Party in charge right now is very likely just the get back to work party. Trump wants that. Trump doesn't care about the opinions. He cares about the pragmatic reality on the ground, and that's what makes him a successful person in business. Oh well. Like, you think about the presidential comparisons that you can make through the history, and some of our worst presidents are pretty different to Trump. And the more I study history, the more assured of that I am. Woodrow Wilson is one of the worst presidents of all time. I put him as number 2 or number 3 worst president of all time. Behind Andrew Johnson, of course, who pardoned all the Confederate dirtbags that went on to continue to cheapen and destroy the South and prevent anything good from happening, and throw out all the good things that Lincoln was going to do to help people and make the country better and fix the problems before they come down the path. Woodrow Wilson was the guy who got us into World War I. He also created the Dust Bowl by saying that we had to farm so much for the war effort, for war. Oh God, we got to shed more blood. You better tap out all of your long-term resources immediately so we can shed blood right now. That's insane. But that's what the college-educated Woodrow Wilson did. He was a very, very, very well-educated person. He was a very effete, high society person. He's exactly the sort of person that the Masons strive to create in society. Those are the leaders that they love. And Trump is the polar opposite of that. He really, really is. He is a cannon. And he is a brazen bastard, if you will. That's because his father Fred was quite the dickhead. But Trump, and you know what a bastard sword is? It's a gigantic sword. Like his Y-hander, it'll easy tap you in half. But hold on one second. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah. I see a lot of the food delivery services starting to deliver everybody's grocery to their houses. That's wild to me. So it first started off with, like, instead of going to the store, instead of going to the mall, you get it delivered through UPS or FedEx. I was just like, oh, that's kind of bad on people's backs. I feel really bad about the people that have to put up with that crap. But now it's literally everything. Like the DoorDash crap. The fact that people wouldn't put that down after the COVID lockdowns really hurts my heart. It really disappoints me, and I'm serious. Like, how in the fuck can you be such a baby that you cannot leave your house to get food? Just don't eat. You can go a day without eating, my dude, and then you'll have the motivation to get out of your fucking house and go get some fucking food. But no, everybody has to have everything delivered to their house. They literally live constantly inside of either their cars or their houses. And of course, that's coming up more and more expensive to do. And just based on how the market works, less and less people are going to be able to live that lifestyle. So you're completely and utterly so you can cool down a department store and keep everything in that area, and then people can take it to their homes and cool it down. That is way more wasteful than presenting hot stuff for the hot in the summer, like peppers and dried fish and stuff like that, and then meats and pottages during the winter and stuff like that. That's how we used to do it. We'd plan into the seasons. Now it's like, okay, get it in the greenhouse, put it in the store, transport it in icy trucks. That took a lot of energy, but we managed it. That wasn't good enough for our spoiled asses. We legitimately said, no, I want the grocery store to come to me. What in the fuck? So it's getting worse and worse and worse. And it just goes to show people hate car-dependent infrastructure. People really do hate it. People don't like it. People don't like to drive. You know? Genuinely. People want things done for them, and to the point where they literally pay somebody else to drive. I would imagine, especially based on how work that I've done in the last 5 years looks compared to the work that I did 10 years ago, that like 30% of all the time people are spent working is just driving. It's just driving. And I don't like that. I don't like the immense amount of time that we have to spend in vehicles. It is a waste of our proper place. It numbs us, it deadens our senses, and it makes us forget just how bad things are getting, just how polluted the which is something we can all work on solving if we remember it, if we watch it and look at it, just how polluted it is because we have air filters and windshields, just how hot it gets in the summer because we have AC units in the car. And one thing, it is very, very good that we have vehicles for winter, but at the same time, if we lived back in ancient times, going back to that, our horses would be all together in the winter, and things would be taken care of, and we would be all together in the winter, and we wouldn't be moving from here to here to here to here to here. It's the very process by which we normalize cars everywhere, this absolute ocean of chaos that you see on the street. Imagine if you're a bird flying through this. Imagine the time lapse of being like an 80-year-old bird or something. I'm not like an African gray flying over for the 6,000th time and seeing, like, over the years the ocean of cars getting bigger and louder and brighter and faster and more violent and smashing into each other and making these horrible screeching sounds, and that growing and growing and growing. Imagine how insane, like, it would be. Imagine how God feels when he sees us acting this way, because he's a much, much more intelligent being than just a parrot, but he's comprised of that parrot too. He's comprised of every single person who's also suffering with road rage and the desire to race around the person to get to the red light quicker. You know, as I said, I'm a wonderful driver. I don't get upset at the road. I get upset how other people are getting bullied on the road. That pisses me off. Because I don't allow myself to get bullied on the road. If somebody wants to ride my ass, go for it, bro. If you are tailgating me, you're going to have a great time. You're going to get to the green light at the perfect time. You're not going to miss a beat. Everything's going to be great. Or you can be an asshole and a dickhead and pretend that you're a NASCAR racing around people, despite the fact that there are people who are transporting their children on the road, and you shouldn't be acting like that. Everybody hates car-dependent infrastructure, except for, like, I liked driving around when I was like 20. Okay, I thought driving around kicked up with my foot up on the dash was fun when I was 19. Grow the fuck up. Speaking of somebody who needs to grow the fuck up, I hear Null's back in America. That's good. I hope he does something. I hope he earns his fucking keep. I hope he doesn't fucking get himself shot or run over. When I fucking met that guy, he was talking about how he wants to turn humans into biofuel. He was talking about how Max Stirner, somebody who's probably not even real, something like a pen name for these freaks out in the Alps, to just see how far they could push insanity. That shit is venerable. Max Stirner, go ahead and look it up. Egoism. And there were years, I worked so fucking hard on this shit, man. I worked so fucking hard to try and make him go, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not a bad person. No, you're not a bad person. No, you're not a predator. No, we're good, noble hunters. We're doing the right thing. We're helping people. We're learning about the brain. Oh, God. And it fucking collapses because of the neo-Nazi Zionist team-up that happens online. These people have all day, every day, because they're subsidized off of fucking government money. All day, every day, to gang up on discords and ruin things for everybody. And now I already see Null. I already saw over the course of time, I haven't seen him in a while, lapsing back into atheistic bullshit. Lapsing back into ego worship. That's not even you, bro. That's a fucking reflection of everything you've experienced. It's not you. You'll see that one day. Oh well. I wish him well. And the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, may Null do well, guide him, keep him safe. In the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. I remember when Kiwi Farms signed my cast. I'd probably get in trouble for pulling this out because it's got a little risque stuff on it, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna do it anyways. Be right back. Yeah, buddy. This is the cast. The Kiwi Farm signed. I keep this as a relic, but now that it's been shown on camera, I could probably throw it away. That was very, very fun. You know, up until Null started fucking with me deliberately, because as I said, I went into one of his little posts where he was talking with his moderators and I disrespected him. Oh, emasculated him, made him look bad. Didn't mean to, but I know he interpreted that way. Afterwards, he said, "Oh, it's super fun to fuck with this guy. Go ahead and go fuck with him." And that happened before I got arrested. I can't help but thinking, now it's ultimately my responsibility at the end of the day, but I can't help but thinking that threw me the fuck off. Oh well, doesn't matter. It'd be very, very disappointing if that was just the case. But the lies and the betrayal and the genuine, like, manufactured bullshit that comes out of fucking whole cloth, that all he needed was one person saying it, and he propagated as truth. That's not what the Kiwi Farms should be about. That's not what it's advertised to be about. It's advertised that it's legal. We can say whatever we want because we tell the truth. That's the point. You literally can't go and say something like XYZ always loves sucking, you know, etc., etc. You know what I'm fucking talking about. You can't say shit like that. You know you can't say shit like that. And just because I say, hey man, you crossed an actual line, did you know that you fucking lied in such a way that I would be able to get you in civil court? It's like, how dare you threaten me? Get the fuck off my website. You ungrateful bastard. And Null is a bastard. Null is a genuine bastard. And that's what's fucked up about him, is that his fucking mom took him to gay pride parades, fucked his brain up. And that's why he, you know, if you know, you know, I'm not going to go into it right here, but that's why he did all that shit when he was younger. And I told that to a girl that was stalking him. And Null got so angry when he got into my DMs. When he found that out, when he found out that I was in a one-on-one DM with the girl that was stalking him, telling him, hey, you don't want to go up that road. You don't want to go up that road. He wasn't interested in her anyways. She left him alone a couple of months later. It all worked out. But nah, let's be petty. Let's make myself a fucking victim. Yeah, all right. You better not act like that in America, bro. You really, really better cut that shit out. He's probably not even going to fucking see this, but I know he's going to get word of it. So, whatever. Anyways, take care.